I'm Dr. Naomi Gibson, I'm a clinical psychologist, and today we're going to talk about postpartum anxiety, which is sometimes referred to as postnatal anxiety, which is the anxiety that's experienced as a new mum or in pregnancy. We're going to think about what it is and some steps that might help you to feel a little bit better. With awareness of postpartum depression has increased in the last few years, this is great, but we still need to understand more about what postpartum anxiety is and what can help. So what is it? Postpartum anxiety usually shows up as lots of worry. You might find yourself worrying lots about your baby's health, or how much they're eating or sleeping. And in pregnancy, you might find yourself with excessive worries about how your baby is developing. It's really common to seek reassurance for these anxious thoughts, perhaps by searching on Google or having regular trips to the GP or asking your partner for reassurance. These anxious thoughts are often accompanied by physical symptoms, so a racing heart, dizziness, shortness of breath, perhaps some muscle tension and headaches and digestive issues maybe. You might also find yourself feeling restless or unable to rest or relax when you want to. The old adage, sleep when the baby sleeps, can feel awful if you can't find any rest from your anxiety. And these physical symptoms of anxiety can be really distressing, especially if you're already exhausted as a new parent. A common feature of postpartum anxiety is hypervigilance, and that's often an intense, constant need to monitor or check on the baby's well-being. And it can lead to frequent checking or being unable to relax because of the fear that something might go wrong. This can lead to an irrational fear of harm coming to your baby, or you might feel inadequate as a parent. Lots of mums coping with postpartum anxiety experience catastrophic thinking. So that's imagining worst-case scenarios and lots of what-if thoughts. And with catastrophic thinking, it's common to overestimate how bad something would be and underestimate your ability to cope with it. It can be our instinct when anxiety shows up to move away from pain, to avoid activities or places because of anxiety. You might avoid going outside or joining a baby group or leaving baby with your partner or another carer. But the more we avoid, the smaller life gets. And it can also stop you from gaining some of the good things that are protective against anxiety, like having time to rest and socialise. Lots of people may feel guilt about their anxiety, and they might ask themselves why they aren't capable of enjoying motherhood more, and this can lead to shame. And shame tends to make things worse and want you to suffer alone, and can make it harder to get the help that you deserve. It's also not unusual to experience perfectionism with postpartum anxiety. So that's a strong and anxious feeling that you're failing if things don't feel in your control or things don't go to plan in your day with the baby. All of these symptoms I've mentioned can be exhausting, and it can really affect how much you're able to enjoy and settle into motherhood. So what can help? Firstly, try to avoid excessive researching and checking. When uncertainty is high, we're pulled in to try and fill the gaps, and researching and checking might feel like it's helping in the moment, but it tends to exacerbate anxiety in the long run because the checking doesn't actually solve the uncertainty. Instead of Googling, you can first ask yourself why you want to Google to find the answer. If having the answer is necessary for decision making, then research could be useful. But if the only reason is to make yourself feel better, it might just be fueling your anxiety. And the same is true of seeking reassurance from your partner. Initially, you might be thinking, well, if they aren't worried about this, I don't need to be. But then you might also have the thought, oh, they don't really know any more than me. And so the anxiety spirals, and it continues like that. So instead of seeking reassurance, perhaps try instead seeking support and comfort from your partner. Reassurance is unlikely to offer long-term relief from your anxiety, but knowing that you have someone you can lean on when anxiety is high can give you more consistent and stable support in these challenging moments, now and in the future. I often talk with clients about self-compassion. So when you're going through something as intense as postpartum anxiety, treating yourself with kindness can be crucial. Anxiety often brings up harsh and self-critical thoughts like, I'm a bad mum, or I should be handling this better. Practicing self-compassion helps you to recognise these thoughts aren't truth, they're just reactions to a challenging experience. So you could try talking to yourself like how you would a close friend or another new mum who's struggling. Or you could indeed use the soft and gentle voice that you very likely use with your baby when they're having a tough moment. You could write down any anxious thoughts and then reframe them in a kinder, more understanding light. And also, don't underestimate the value of simple self-care activities, especially if they're done with self-compassion. Things like warm showers and moving in a way that feels good to your body and eating satisfying food can help your body to manage stress. If any of this that I've mentioned resonates with you, please know that you're not alone, and it's really okay to seek help. You could have help from a mental health professional or from a trusted loved one, and small steps can lead to big changes. And with the right help, many mums find they can manage postpartum anxiety and start to feel a bit more like themselves. I'm Dr. Naomi Gibson, a clinical psychologist, and you can find me on Instagram at Dr. Naomi Psychologist or via my website, drnaomigibson.com. I've just spent the day filming some videos for MindFriend on perinatal mental health, and stay tuned to check them out soon.